Imagine, I literally have a meltdown. I go rectify the situation. Nobody else needed to know my lace was messed up. And yet, you told them anyway. I'm telling you, that man hated my guts, bro. Like, there was no reason. I want that. I want that. I want that. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah Lohan. I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, story time talks. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, something slight for the kids. You know the vibes. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, vibes, beautiful, amazing. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a story time. It's gonna be a story time. Quick disclaimer before we get started. I am recording with my DJI. I don't know if I've said this in a previous video yet, but my Canon camera, which is what I usually use to record my story times, it has a chip stuck in there and I've been too lazy to take it out, so I have to record with my vlogging camera. So I do not know what the quality is gonna be like. I hope it's okay. I hope my makeup appears okay because I did this in about 15 minutes. But if it's not too much. So let's get started. Today's story time is going to be about the time that I dated this guy, and meeting both of his parents was a nightmare. Okay, it was a shit show for that matter. So like I said, I was dating this guy, and this was like a few years back. I dated him during college, and we were together for a while before I actually met his parents. I think we were together for like a year before I actually met his parents. I met his mom first, and then I met his dad. So first we're going to talk about what happened when I met his mom, right? The first time I met his mom, it had been like a while since we were dating, like I said, about a year, and it was just never the right time to meet his parents. His mom didn't live in the same borough as we did, and like his dad was kind of always in the house, and it was just like, okay, under what circumstances are you going to meet him? It kind of needed to be like a formal situation. So we were trying to figure out the logistics of that situation. In like the first week of December, he's like, hey, my mom invited you over. You know, she's never met you before. I told her about you. In my culture, because he was half Latino, he was like, yeah, in my culture we actually celebrate Christmas the day before Christmas, so Christmas Eve. He was like, she's gonna make food, my brothers are gonna be there, you know, we're gonna be playing games, just talking, something chill. It's not gonna be anybody else, just like the family and you. So if you're comfortable, like, you're invited. She's making your favorite food, which is pastelitos at the time. Y'all ate that up when y'all made that shit. Ate it right up. So I'm like, okay, perfect. You know, I was feeling at the time that he was kind of hiding our relationship, like he wasn't taking me seriously. So I'm like, okay, he's interested in inviting me over to his mom's house, and he wants to introduce me to his family. I know how much his mom means to him and his brother, so like, let me just go, let me just, you know, show up and finally get this thing going. The day of, right, I get dressed, and I'm the type of person that when I'm going somewhere and I don't know if other people, no, actually that's not true, I do know other people are like this. I'm the type of person that when I go somewhere, I need at least 2.5 hours to get ready. Yep, every single time. It doesn't matter if I have my natural hair. It doesn't matter if I'm wearing a wig, braids, whatever. I need about 2 hours to get ready every single time. Why, you may ask? That sounds ridiculous, you may say. Well, I have anxiety, and so I need to make sure that like my outfit looks good, my hair looks good, my makeup looks good, like everything is in order. And I do not like being rushed, okay? I especially don't like being rushed when I have to go somewhere important, because of course on the day I'm going somewhere important, everything would fall apart. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna have me out here looking like Cynthia, baby, okay? I start getting ready like 2.5 hours before I'm supposed to head out and go to his mother's house. So I'm getting ready, you know, I picked out my outfit, I do my skincare routine, everything I'm supposed to do. It comes time for me to do my wig. This was the time that I had just started wearing wigs. This was back a few years ago. So back when the girls started wearing wigs, like 2019, 2020-ish type of situation, this is when I started wearing wigs. And at the time, my first and only wig was a wig that I got from My First Wig, which was, if you have never heard of My First Wig before, it's a company that specializes in first wigs. So they kind of do everything that takes away the work from you, especially since you're a beginner, so you don't have to struggle with the wig. So I got the wig, you know, it was really nice, it was black, it was a good length, the lace looked good, everything like that. I was wearing it in college, and then I also wore it when I got out of college, which was the year that this happened. So I had been wearing this wig for a while, mind you, and for the most part I think I was using like a spray adhesive to put it down, like I wasn't really using glue. But A month or two before this incident happened, I started transitioning into using glue. Now, I don't know if y'all wear wigs. I don't know if y'all are wig girlies. But I was having issues with that damn glue, okay? And one thing about it, the day you really need to do something, your lace gonna be lacing in bad. This day, I'm like putting my thing on and I'm trying to be very careful because I've had incidences where I put the glue on and it looks fine, and then 2 hours later, the glue is white. Okay, you can see everything, it's clumpy, the lace is messed up, all of that. So I'm like, okay, I really have to be careful with this, especially because I'm nervous. I know I'm gonna be sweating. So I'm putting the glue on. I made sure I took the alcohol off my hairline and everything. Girl, I think I got everything going. I'm texting my boyfriend. I'm like, I'm really nervous about this wig because you know I've had incidents with the wig before and I really don't want to show up to your people's house looking crazy. So he was like, okay, you know, you're gonna be fine, just take your time. I know you've had issues before, but you're gonna be good, like don't worry about it. I put the wig on, I go to the bathroom, I look at it in different lighting, I go by the window, I look at it in different lighting, I take a picture of my phone with the flash. I do all of the tests to make sure it looked good, and it did. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I get dressed and I start to head to the train station. Apparently, I had timed it incorrectly for the first time in my life because the train was coming faster than I anticipated. And if I missed this one, the next one wasn't coming for another 20 minutes. I didn't want to be late to somebody's mama house because you know how mamas be. So I was just like, I need to be on time. So now at this point, I'm power walking to the train station. And of course, when you walk faster, you start to sweat, especially if you're wearing a big ass jacket in December in New York City, walking up a hill to a train station. So I'm sweating and I'm hot and I'm panicking and I'm like touching up my hair, trying to make sure the band is still on and everything like that. I'm trying to minimize my sweating while still getting to the train station at the right time. I'm walking, I finally get to the train station and I run down the steps in order to catch the train. Train station hot as hell. So of course I'm getting hotter and hotter and hotter and I'm panicking. Okay, because I know I'm sweating. I get on the train and I'm texting my boyfriend and I'm like, hey, like, you know, where are you? Are you getting close? Did you leave yet? Blah, blah, blah. He's telling me that he's left his house, but that was a lie. Okay, he did not leave his house. He was just leaving his house when I got on the train. And we lived like, I want to say about the same distance from his mother's house. So I don't know why he didn't leave on time, but he didn't. So it was just me that was going to get there first. And obviously I wasn't going to pull up to his mother's house without him. So I'm like, listen, if you are going to show up late, we're going to have to find somewhere to meet mutually because I'm not going to be at the house before you are. Like, that's just stupid. So he's trying to tell me it's fine. You could just go, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's not going to think nothing of it. Like, I know I'm going to be late. I already told her I'm going to be late. Wait a minute. You told your mother you was going to be late? But you expected me to just show up and sit and kiki with them? You expected me to introduce myself? Hi, everyone. I'm Leah. Hi. Yeah. Your son's girlfriend? Yeah. You know, the one that's not here? How is you cool? So I'm like, I'm not showing up to your mother's house without you. We are going to have to meet somewhere. So he's like, okay, fine, whatever. We decide to meet up at the Port Authority. If you're from New York City, you know that the Port Authority is kind of like the central meeting ground for all of New York City, okay? Every single one of them, they link up at the Port Authority. I feel like that's their district regional center, okay? So I'm like, I don't know if I have the mental capacity to deal with this right now or to be interrupted by one of these people or to argue with them for that matter, but I'm gonna have to make it work because the most important thing at hand here is meeting your mom. So I'm like, fine, I'll meet you at the Port Authority. I'm just gonna stand by something. I'm gonna let you know where I'm at. So he says, fine. I get there, I stand there, and now that I finally have some time to myself, I'm like taking my lace band off to make sure the lace is still good. Bitch. When I took this lace band off, the shit was white. I said, wow, it would be me. It would be me on the day I need my lace to act up right that it would do this to me. So of course now I'm panicking, making the situation worse. Okay. I'm panicking. I'm really starting to cry at this point. So I'm looking at it. I'm taking pictures of it. I'm doing everything. I'm trying to pat it down. I don't know what I can do. I don't have any spray on me. I don't have any rubbing alcohol. At this point, I'm still a beginner, so I don't even know how to reapply the lace at this point that I'm already outside. So I'm texting my boyfriend and I'm like, oh my God, my lace really messed up. I'm about to start panicking. I'm already crying. So he's like, calm down. What's wrong with the lace? I said, bro, this shit turned white. So he's like, damn, I thought you said it was okay. I'm like, it was okay when I left the house. Apparently it's no longer okay. So he's like, take a picture, send it to me. I take a picture of the lace, I send it to him. He goes, yikes.
Who did your hair?
What? Why would you say that? Why would you say yikes when I'm already panicking? So I'm like, oh my God, like I don't need this right now. So now I'm snapping at him because that's not the reaction I need from you when I'm having a meltdown. Like you cannot egg on my meltdown. You have to be supportive. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Da, 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 da. You're not even here. Hurry up. Where are you? Where are you? He's like, I can't make the train go any faster. I'm going to be there very soon. Just relax, calm down. We'll figure it out when we get there. How in the are you going to help me figure it out? You be wearing lace wigs? You got that shit on you? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I get to Google and I'm on YouTube and I'm trying to figure out what to do and if I can do anything at this point, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's giving me any information. They're basically telling me take the wig off and start over. I can't do that. I'm outside. What? I know I'm at Port Authority and any questionable behavior in New York City is going to be disregarded as normal antics, but I am not going to do that. So I'm stalled. I don't know what to do. So all I have to do now is stand and wait. I'm standing for like 15, 17 minutes and I'm blacking on him through text message because I can't believe you're still not here. You let me be here for 20 minutes before you actually showed up. He finally shows up and he's like, okay, so what's the problem? I lift up my lace band and I show it to him and he's like, damn. Again, why would you do that? So I'm like, bro, help me. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Like, what should I do? So he's like, well, I don't know what to do because I don't be wearing wigs. But like, did you try to figure out? Did you go on YouTube? I'm like, nothing is helping me. So I was like, I mean, I don't know at this point if I should just like try to take the wig off and unbraid my hair. He's like, we don't have time for that. If you unbraid your hair right now, we're going to be here for 20 minutes. I have a lot of hair. And even if I unbraided my hair, what was I going to do? I don't have a scrunchie. I can't do anything with it. So I was like, shit. I'm start to crying. He's like, relax, calm down. Like, so I'm like, I really don't want to show up to your mom's house looking like this because I don't want people to talk shit about me. He's like, yeah, she will talk shit about you. What? What? Like, why would you tell me your mom about to talk shit about me because my hair looks crazy? So he's like, yeah, I mean, she really want to talk shit about you. So I'm like, oh man, like, what now? In the end, we decided to go to CVS because there was like a CVS, I think, or was it a Dwayne Reed? Across the street from Port Authority and just go get a headband. So I went to go get a headband and I put it on and it kind of took care of the situation temporarily. I mean, at least they couldn't see what my lace looked like and that's all I cared about. So I get the band, I put it on and we're good to go. We start walking to his mom's house. We get upstairs, open the door. He introduces me to everybody. I think I had a gift for his mom, so I gave it to her. And then after that, like, I sit down or whatever. So I sit down, I'm talking to his brothers, and they were watching TV, stuff like that. He's in the kitchen with his mom, and all of a sudden, I hear his mom say, yeah, you know, I'm sorry I was late. No, I hear him say, sorry I was late. Yeah, you know, the train, blah, 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 blah. Then he was like, yeah, I had to help Leah real quick because her hair got messed up. And his mom was like, what? Like, what you mean her hair got messed up? She's like, yeah, her hair got messed up.
Her lace was up.
Imagine, I literally have a meltdown. I go rectify the situation. Nobody else needed to know my lace was messed up. And yet, you told them anyway. I'm telling you, that man hated my guts, bro. Like, there was no reason. Anyway, so then after that, the night went the way it went. And I left the house, I think at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. He was gonna stay over there because the next day was Christmas. So he walked me to the train station. I got on the train and I'm heading on my way back to Brooklyn. But the problem was the train was stalled for mad long. I think for literally like 25 minutes or something like that. I was in the tunnel trying to wait for traffic to leave, and it's like the night before Christmas. Like, this is a really unfortunate situation. So I finally get home or whatever, and I think it was like 12:15 by the time I got home. I was irritated. But that was the first time I met his mom. The next time I met his mom was when I met his dad. Now, prior to me meeting his dad, him and I had a issue, kind of. And by him and I mean me and his father. What happened was, me and my boyfriend went on a trip together, and during the trip, he fell ill. He had a condition, and he fell ill. He had like a relapse of something, and so he needed to be hospitalized for like 3 of the days that we were on this trip for. So when he fell ill or whatever, he contacted his dad and he let him know, hey dad, I'm at the hospital in so-and-so. I went on a trip with my girlfriend and this happened, blah, blah, blah. His dad is yelling at him. He's like, I can't believe you went away and you didn't even tell me. Why would you do that? Why would you leave the state and not tell the person you're living with that you're not going to be there? That's just wildly irresponsible. Mind you, I asked him before we left, hey, did you tell your father we were going on this trip? He said,
Yeah, I told him.
So I said, okay. The day we were leaving, I said, are you sure you told your father we're going on this trip?
Yeah. Why you keep asking me, bro? Like, it's not that serious. I told him, of course I told him. Why wouldn't I tell my father?
Liar!
You are a liar, actress.
You are a liar. Okay? His dad is on his phone yelling at him while we're in the hospital. I stink because I haven't showered in 24 hours because I don't want to leave his side. I'm the only person he knows in this state. Okay? And I'm here on a vacation. What is going on? So his dad is on the phone and he puts his dad on speaker for a second so I can hear like what his dad is saying to him. And his dad is like, why did you go on vacation? Blah, blah, blah. And you're with somebody that I don't even know. How am I supposed to know this girl is going to take care of you? How am I supposed to know if this girl is going to do what she's supposed to do? Da, da, da. First of all, you don't even know me like that to be having such vim and vigor towards me. You need to be talking to your bald-headed son about why he didn't tell you he was leaving and not me. This is strange energy directed in my direction and I don't like it. I'm quiet because one thing about it, I respect my elders, but only to a certain point, right? I give respect where respect is due. Don't talk to me crazy. Just don't. So he's like, all right, dad, all right, I'll talk to you later. I'll update you, blah, blah, blah. His dad is like, do you want me to come down there? He's like, no, you don't need to do that. It's fine. I'm being taken care of. It's good. So his dad doesn't end up coming. But at the end of the vacation, when we came back, he kept telling me how his dad had an issue with the fact that him and I left and nobody told him. How was I going to tell you that we left and I've never met you before, sir? I don't know anything about you. The first time I got your phone number is when your son was laying up in a hospital bed and I took your phone number down just in case he could not contact you. Why are you mad at me for? So it goes by weeks and months or whatever, and the dad situation is being brought up sometimes, but not all the time. And one day my boyfriend says to me, hey, my family is having like a little seafood night. We're making different dishes with seafood in it. My dad wants you to come. He wants to meet you. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So the day comes, I asked my mom if she could make me a dish because I know how to cook, but I get nervous cooking for other people because I don't know how other people like to eat. So I was just like asking my mom to help me. And she made the dish for me. I get dressed. I put the wig back on. But this time the wig was much better, so we were back in business. And so I get there, he takes a dish for me, and we go upstairs. Now, mind you, this is the first time me being at his house. So as we're going up the stairs, I asked him, I said, who all is there? Because I don't like to be bombarded and I don't like to be blindsided. So he's like, oh, it's just the people that I told you was going to be there. It's my mom, it's my dad, it's my mom's husband, and it's also my grandmother. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we go upstairs, knocks on the door, opens the door, introduces me to everybody. I say hi to the mom and the stepfather, and then I sit down. The dad says hi to me. He's like, hi, it's nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. It's unfortunate that I didn't get to meet you before you and him went on that trip. And I'm sorry about the way I was reacting. But this is my only son. So I really am protective about him. And I don't know you from nowhere. I don't know if you want to take care of him. I don't know if you're going to... Alright, super dad. Calm the f*** down. Like, it's cool. I understand. You're a father. You're going to be protective of your child. But at the same time, the way you were behaving towards me was unwarranted and it was unnecessary. So while I understood where he was coming from, I just didn't respect his delivery. So I'm listening to him and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I understand where you're coming from because my mom and my dad are protective over me too, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to, tell him like, it's fine. I get it. It's fine. I really just want to put the conversation to rest, to be honest. The night keeps going. We're eating and he's like, oh, this is really good. Did you make this? And I'm like, no, my mom did. So he's like complimenting my mom's food and he's asking me more about myself and, how long me and his son has been dating, all of this. So I'm talking to him. I'm talking to everybody. We're laughing. We're just talking. And then the night goes on a little bit. The grandmother goes to the room and it's just the 5 of us sitting down at the table. And the mom I think two of them had walked away. I think the dad had walked away to the bathroom or something like that. And the stepfather had went to go take a phone call or something, but he wasn't there. So it was just me, my boyfriend, and his mom at the table. So she's like, oh, how you doing? So I'm like, I'm doing good, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, did you like the food? And I'm like, yeah, it was really good. You know, I really like seafood, so this was great. I enjoyed this. She says, I'm surprised you ate it. I said, why? Why would you say that? She's like, you didn't notice I didn't eat anything? I said, yeah, but I mean, I thought maybe you just wasn't hungry. I don't know. So she's like, no. So I'm like, what you mean by that, sister? Why you talking in code? What's going on? She's like, you know they got roaches, right? Huh? I beg your first available pardon? I beg your first available pardon? They got what? So she's like, you know they got roaches, right? So I said, oh, okay. I didn't see any roaches. But I mean, it is what it is. I already ate, so it's fine. I'm trying to laugh it off because what do you say to somebody saying that people got roaches in their house, in the house that you are at? What do you say to somebody saying they didn't eat the food because they got roaches when you already ate a full plate of food? What do you say to that? Huh? I'm already here. It's too late. You should have told me when I first walked in. You should have texted your son to tell me, actually. And the fact that your son didn't tell me his house is infested with roaches is crazy. Let me tell you something. I live in New York City. I don't care what nobody says. At some point, if you live in an apartment building in New York City, you will see a roach. If you don't see a roach in your apartment, if you don't see a roach in your hallway, in your elevator, in your lobby, you're going to see a roach outside the building. You're going to see a roach somewhere. This city is infested with roaches. It's awful. Okay? And you can clean your house all you want and you can keep your space nice and clean, right? But if you have cracks in your building, if your neighbor is disgusting, if you're doing construction next door, you're going to see a roach. You're just going to see it. And I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying the way New York City buildings are constructed, it's inevitable that you're going to see one or two at some point when you're living in a building. At first, I wasn't thinking nothing of it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's unfortunate that I might have eaten a roach or two. But it's not that big of a deal to me as long as I don't take no friends home. It's fine. It's okay. You know, I'm not a judgmental person. I'm very understanding, so it's cool. So I'm like, you know, laughing it off, and I'm like trying to get her to change the subject because I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to have this conversation. And I want to clarify that I didn't just take his mom's word for it that the apartment had roaches. I had actually seen the roaches on the wall with my own two eyes because I came over I think it was 3 days after or something like that, just casually during the day. I saw the roaches with my own eyes. So she was definitely telling the truth. And he also told me that it wasn't an issue of the roaches just coming from other apartments. It was definitely because his dad was not cleaning up the place. His grandma wasn't cleaning up the place. And they were just slacking on getting it fumigated. They knew what the problem was. They knew they had an infestation and nobody was taking care of it. So his father comes back and the stepfather comes back and we continue the night and that's that. Finally, it's time for me to go home. You know, I say goodnight to everybody. I go downstairs and I go home. So that was the end of that. A few weeks later, he tells me, hey, my dad is going on vacation. He's going to Atlantic City for the weekend. Do you want to come sleep over? Let me preface this by saying that prior to this, we had never spent a night together while we were in Brooklyn. We may have stayed together at an Airbnb or something like that, but we had never stayed at my place together and we had never stayed at his place together overnight. In my house, none of that is happening. None of that is going down for several reasons that are not important, but it's just not going down. And number two, at his house, it was his grandmother and his father. He did not have a bedroom. His bed was in the living room, which I'm not judging that situation. But the problem with that is you cannot have company in a situation like that because you do not have privacy. And I'm not saying we would have did anything, but I'm not comfortable with sleeping on the bed in your living room if your father is going to be walking back and forth from the bedroom to the bathroom in his boxers. Even if he was wearing sweatpants, I don't care. I'm uncomfortable with that. Not because of the father per se, but because I'm uncomfortable with the lack of privacy. So it would have just never happened. We both understood that. It was not a big deal. It wasn't the end all be all of the relationship. It's whatever. So he's like, yeah, you know, he's going to be away for the weekend. And my grandmother went down south where she's originally from. So it's just going to be me in the house. Do you want to come over? So I said, okay, sure. But first, I got a question and answer honestly. So he's like, what? Like, what's the problem? So I said, do you still have roaches in your house? And he's like, yo, like, you play too much, blah, blah, blah. He's like laughing. I'm like, what the funny? What's funny? What's funny? Because not only do you have a roach infestation, okay, but you have a cat. At the time, I was allergic to cat hair. I don't think I'm no longer allergic to cat hair, but I was very allergic to cat hair and or dander. So I stayed far away from cats. I didn't like them to begin with because I think they're demonic entities. Not for anything spiritual, but just because I don't like their vibe or their energy. I just don't like cats. So I was just like sketchy about the cat to begin with. But now that I know you have a roach infestation in your apartment, I don't want any company. So he's like, man, like, nah, like, it's not that serious, blah, 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 blah. He's telling me it's not that serious, but he was taking it seriously because he knew that he had a problem in his house. Like, he knew that there was an issue. So I'm like, tell me the truth, be honest. He's like, okay, well, I mean, they still be around and stuff like that. You know, the super was supposed to come clean it up. The super was supposed to come fumigate the place, but they never got around to it because that nigga don't be doing shit. He was like, but we can fumigate the apartment before you come over. So I said, yeah, you do that. You do that. So he's like, okay, I could fumigate the apartment. I could let you know what it's looking like. And then you can say whether or not you still want to come over. So I said, okay. So it's like a day or two before I'm supposed to come over. He does fumigate the apartment and he's keeping me up to date with everything. And he's like, yeah, I think we're fine. Like, I haven't seen a roach in 24 hours. I think we're good. I think we got rid of them. Like, you're fine. So I'm like, I still need to think about this. I still do need to think about this. So I'm like thinking about it and I'm like, do I really want to go? Do I really want to go? I know what it's like living in New York City. Like I told y'all, I'm a real humble person, a real understanding person. I don't like to be uncomfortable, but if I know my partner has taken precautions to make sure I am comfortable, then why not? Okay? Why not?
Of course I f***ed up. Who never f***ed up hands in the air?
So I packed my little bag. It was only for one night. I packed my little bag. I think it was for 2 nights. I was left on Friday and I was supposed to come back on Sunday. So I packed my little bag or whatever and I head over to his house. When I get to his house, I walk in and I'm like, hey, yeah, did you eat yet? Oh yeah, it wasn't good. Oh, so you want to go back outside and you want to? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we could go to that. Yeah, I heard they had good food. You're right. Let's go. Let me just. Okay. So I'm looking around. I'm scoping the scenery because even though you told me you fumigated, I need to make sure for a fact that you did. Okay? Because he was a liar, a big one. And so I needed to make sure that I scoped it out for myself. I didn't need to unpack first. I need to see first. So when I didn't see anything suspicious or anything that made me uncomfortable, I was like, okay, we're just going to put my stuff down. So I sit down or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so what are we going to do? I think we went to go get food first. I don't think we ordered food. Did we? Honestly, I don't remember. I think we may have had ordered food. So I was like, let me go to the bathroom and let me change because I didn't want my outside clothes to be on his bed. So I went to his bathroom. I went to change. And then like I sat on his bed, turned on a Netflix. We're watching TV. We're watching movies and stuff like that. The cat is around, but the cat is not near me. It's like in a corner sleeping somewhere. So I'm not worried about that either. So it's been a few hours. We're watching TV. We're chilling. We're laughing. We're on social media. We're talking about stuff, all of that. And it's time to go to sleep. So as it's time to go to sleep now, I get comfortable, okay, or I try to. I get on the bed and I start to notice that the cat is now in our area. So I'm like, oh, your cat is here. Like, why is it here now? He's like, oh yeah, you know, she usually sleeps like near my bed, so she's probably thinking it's time for bed and da 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 da. I said, okay, well that can't happen. I know that this is her house, but I'm your guest and I don't like cats. So he's like, yeah, no, I understand. I know you're allergic. Like, I'll just move her. So he gets the cat and he puts the cat in his grandmother's room or something like that. And he's like, I think you're going to be fine. Like, you're cool. So that's okay. I get into bed. I get to sleep, you know. He falls asleep before me. But I'm having a hard time sleeping because I don't like sleeping at people's houses. I like sleeping in my own bed, in my own room, in my own space. That's just how I am. I don't know how to explain it. So it takes me a while to get comfortable in other spaces. I'm laying down, trying to close my eyes. I'm trying to scroll on social media, try to watch something on my phone, doing everything that I can to help me get sleepy. At this point, I'm going in and out of sleep. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe my body is having a hard time relaxing, but we're going to get there. I start to fall asleep, but I am woken up by an itch. It starts off at first like a light itch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like rubbing my skin like this. Just like a light pat. I'm thinking it's going to go away. Whatever. I have very sensitive skin. I have cat allergies. Just a lot happening. So it could be anything. So I'm like doing this. And it could be in my head too. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm rubbing my arms and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well, this is uncomfortable, but whatever. Wake right back up for the itch. And I'm like, what's going on? Like at this point now, it's an intense itch. And I'm itching like really, really badly. So like I wake him up and I'm like, hey, wake up. And he's like, what's wrong? So I'm like, I'm itchy. Like what's going on? Like I'm very, very itchy. I don't know what's happening and I'm starting to panic. So he's like, okay, just relax. Like it's fine. I don't know if the cat was around and maybe one of her hairs is on my bed. Cause like I said, his bed was on the floor. Okay. No shade. No shade. It didn't even have a frame. It was just a mattress. So the mattress was on the floor and I'm like, okay, so what's happening? Like, so he's like, it might be cat hair. It's fine. So I'm like, okay, well, I cannot sleep on this bed if there's cat hair here. He's like, okay, well, I don't have any other clean sheets. I don't know what to do about this. Like, just try to fall back asleep. Just try to relax. So I'm like, okay. I try to relax. It's not working. I have this intense itch all over my body. And at this point now, I start to cry because I'm uncomfortable. You ever had like your whole body itch? Like, that's not a subtle situation. So I get up and I start crying and I'm waking him up again. And I'm like, no, if I'm not sleeping, you not sleeping. Because I know something's wrong. So he's like, all right, let's go to the bathroom. We go to the bathroom. We turn on the light. I have red splotches all over my body. Not only do I have red splotches over my body, but I have what looks like bites on my body as well. So I'm like, I know this nigga don't got bed bugs. I know he don't. On top of you having a cat, roaches, you also have bed. This can't be. It cannot be. Say it ain't so. So I'm like, what are these bites? Like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I don't think those are bites. I think it's just you breaking out in hives because of the cat hair. I'm like, okay, but this looks different from this. This is obviously a bite. So he's like, I don't know what's happening, but you're fine. Like, it's just an allergic reaction. He doesn't have cortisone. He doesn't have, bite cream. He doesn't have anything to help me with the itching. Not even an Aquaphor, baby. Nothing. So I'm sitting here sleeping in a bed where I'm getting bit by something. God knows what. There's cat hair everywhere. I am in hell. This is my own personal version of hell. So I fall asleep for maybe like 3-4 hours. And then as soon as the sun comes up, I wake him up. I said, I'm going home now. So he's like, are you serious right now? Like, you're being dead ass. You're being so dramatic. I don't give a damn. I'm about to pack my bag. My Uber is outside. My shit is outside. Because you got me sleeping in a bed with cat hair and something biting me. You don't even know what's biting me. I can't do this. So I go home after I pack my bag and I take a hot shower. I put all my clothes in a bag and I put it in my laundry and I do the laundry like the next day to, you know, mitigate any issues and things like that. So that was the end of that situation. But the reason why I told this story is because I was watching a TikTok and then somebody in the comments was saying how like they lived in a space where there was like roaches and like the roaches was like biting up their bodies and stuff like that at night for years. And I'm not gonna lie, don't laugh at me. For a long time, I did not know roaches bite. So now that I'm putting it together, it was definitely his roaches biting up my body. For sure it was roaches because it wasn't bed bugs. It was roaches. So I was like, okay. Not only were you a horrible boyfriend to me, not only did I find out that you were eventually cheating on me. Not at this time, I didn't know. But not only were you doing that and you were cheap, and you were rude and nasty, and your dad was disrespectful to me, and our vacation was ruined because you lied to me and you were negligent in your health. But you had me laying in a bed where roaches were biting up my body. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. So yeah, that's the end of my story. And that's the story about how the 2 times that I met my ex-boyfriend's parents, it went horribly wrong, and then I went to his house and his roaches bit up my body. So that's the story. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and join the gang. Because you watch this whole video, you might as well stick around. Follow me on all my socials. My Instagram is temporarily deactivated because I am overwhelmed, but feel free to follow me on TikTok. That information is in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.